I'd just like to say welcome. Thank you, everybody, for coming this evening. We've got a fantastic panel event for you tonight, as you can see, on the topic of AI in finance and how artificial intelligence is shaping the financial industry. We have a panel of expert guests who I've all hand-vetted and can say they know what they're talking about, so that's good. But we'll do the panel portion for the evening for about 45 minutes, after which we'll do about 15 minutes of Q&A. So if you've got a question at the end, please put your hand up. I'll be the roving reporter with the mic. I'll come round. You can ask your question. And then afterwards, from about 7:30 onwards, there'll be drinks and further socialising at the bar. So please feel free to welcome and stay for a drink and socialise afterwards. So without further ado, I'll hand you over to our host for the evening, Sophie.
Thanks, Guy, and welcome everyone. So I'm Sophie, I'll be your host this evening. I'm joined by 5 panelists. So we're very excited to talk to you today about AI and finance. So as part of the Q&A part, we're going to be focusing on 3 topics. So we'll be talking firstly about AI and the future of work in finance. Then we'll be talking about the role of generative AI and LLMs in the financial services industry. And then finally, we'll be talking about data privacy, compliance, and ethics. But before we go into the questions, we should probably get to know our panelists. Adam, over to you.
So it's excellent to see so many people turn out on a wintry, dark, and rainy evening. I'm Adam, the CEO and founder at QuantSpark. We work to deploy analytics and AI across a number of sectors, including financial services. And together with TrueNorth, we've brought together this evening to talk about a hot topic, but in particular also discuss how it can be deployed in reality. So really looking forward to this conversation, and we've got some amazing speakers. So yeah, it's great to be here. Thank you.
So my name's Yinka. I'm the lead technology architect at CFC, which is an underwriter, an insurance company, and we're on our journey for around deploying artificial intelligence across our business to create efficiencies and create that competitive advantage. So I'm particularly interested to hear what the panelists have to say today, because I guess I'm on the other end of this in terms of rather than consulting with clients, I am one of those clients. And so I find this quite interesting.
Hi, everyone. I'm Akin, head of data science at IG Group. So for those of you who don't know, IG is it's a CFD trading platform. CFDs are a form of derivatives for retail investors or traders. We are one of the largest in that space, hosting over 500,000 active clients every month. So what this means for us is that we have been on the sort of like data AI journey since forever. I joined the firm about 8 years ago, and I've seen that transformation grow. So from a sort of like client side, I'm always interested in, as you know, the unfortunate soul who has to be at the helm of this sort of journey in my organization. It's really hard to know what to do, where to get inspiration from. And so I find panelists, being a great source of that, great source of these ideas, and like learning from other areas in the industry, especially now that generative AI has just come and slapped us in the face in the last 12 months. It's caused different like step change in momentum and left us with a lot of questions as to how do we really, grasp this opportunity and not be disrupted.
So my name's Sarah Sinclair. So I'm a CEO and founder of a business called ChangeGap, which was set up just 3 years ago after having spent about 30 years in industry. So I trained in computer science and did software engineering for a couple of years, but I was really curious about what was happening on the other side. So then I just stayed in the business. And 3 years ago when I set up the business, I thought there's just all these gaps, whether it's in banking, insurance, or asset management. And when it comes to regulation, all of the gaps were pretty much the same. And largely it was around the gap between business and technology. So that's the focus of our work. And we work a lot with regulators as well as trade bodies, vendors and consultancies. And we're being asked more and more about AI and the impacts and how we can even start to think about regulating, the work. So yeah, really pleased to be part of this panel. Thank you.
Hello, yes, I'm Carol Lemos. I am Right now I'm the head of data science for our new company called Lantern AI. And the weird thing about this company Lantern AI is that we call it AI before all the generative AI craze. And at the time we actually wanted it to be AI to mean augmented intelligence. We meant AI to be augmented intelligence, but that is it turned out that now ChatGPT became synonymous with AI. And before that, I did spend a fair amount of time in the industry. I was a portfolio manager at JP Morgan, a strategist at Citibank. And before that, I actually come from a very academic background. I did my PhD in computer science from MIT, and I did spend a couple of years at the AI lab. So it was fun to see how all this AI journey has moved since then. Now, ready for the
Well, we should probably have some questions then. So Gerardo, why don't we start with you with a fairly broad question? So what are the biggest impacts that you think AI will have on the finance workforce over the next few years?
Yeah. Well, this is a great question. Given my background, one of the things that I immediately want to see is how the economists are looking at this topic. There's a great guy called Eric Brynjolfsson. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but yeah, he's a Stanford professor. He was for 20 years at MIT, and his main area of research is to figure out how tech impacts jobs. What he has done is to develop a very robust framework in which the way he analyzes this impact is to identify all the jobs, and then for each job, look at how it can be decomposed into different tasks. To give an example, what he did, when people are talking about, for instance, the impact of AI in medicine, usually there is all this belief that for AI can completely replace radiologists. What he saw is that if you look at the job of a radiologist, it's actually composed of 26 tasks, in which only one of them is the diagnosis given an MRI image. The other ones range from just writing down the comments of the patients to discussing with other doctors about the symptoms, etc. What is important here is that when you do the mapping and you try to analyze the impacts of a technology on a job, when you look at the task, you have to see whether this technology can actually improve or replace that task. And one of the key criteria is the tolerance to error. In the case of radiologists, the tolerance to error of a big diagnosis is huge. So it turns out that the impact in healthcare of AI is not going to be driven that much by the diagnosis part, but actually it's coming a lot from low-hanging fruit with a high tolerance to error. That are tasks in which the doctor spends a lot of time doing very boring stuff, which is basically just writing down what the patient has told him and putting that into a specific system. Whoever has spent some time here with the NHS will have noticed that in a 20-minute conversation with GP, probably they will spend like 15 minutes typing down the stuff. All these new AI tools that have been developed, many of them are just trying to figure out how to help the doctor solve all this boring stuff so they can actually spend time doing the important life-saving decisions. In our company, we're trying to apply this same framework to see how we can help our clients, which are from the private equity industry, looking at how the jobs are currently are and trying to identify which parts can be easily and with a high tolerance to error replaced with autonomous agents. Anyway, I think probably, maybe it's enough from me. I'm pretty sure it's a panel, so I'm happy to let the rest of the panel see how they see the impact as well.
Fab. Well, I guess following on that, and maybe another panelist wants to take this question. So with the shift to AI, especially in finance, are there any roles that may become increasingly augmented?